What's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Welcome to another episode of Your Leather, My Advice. I'm coming up with the name, so bear with me. If you find value in this video, please subscribe to my channel, send it to somebody who might need it, and leave a comment if you are resonating with any of the approaches that you are going to hear or that I'm going to advise. Let's see. We got another email letter from let's make up the name, right? We go with E, so another E, let's say Emily. 35-year-old female from Midwest United States of America. She said she's an elementary school teacher, married with 2 kids. One is 6, one is 8. Letter starts like this. Hello. I'm reaching out amidst a whirlwind of emotions as the holiday season approaches. I got this letter one day before Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Eve night, but I'm just getting to it right now. I am an elementary school teacher, a job that already fills my days to the brim. As much as I want to embrace the joy and the festiveness of this time, I find myself grappling with a sense of overwhelming anxiety. It's become a yearly ritual, transforming our home into a bustling hub for relatives, each with their own quirks and challenges. My in-laws are visiting. That's very nice. Family reunion. And let's say our views on the world couldn't be more different. It sets the stage for some tense dinner conversations, especially with the current global climate. Honestly, yes, especially with the current global climate, but we could say this almost every year. Every year there is some big controversy that people can fight over on the dinner table in terms of politics, economics, war, everything. The differences in between people reflects on their opinions and on their views on political scene too. Anyways, let's continue. To add to the mix, my sister, who is recently divorced, will be joining us. It's her first holiday without her kids, and while I want to be there for her, her situation adds an emotional complexity that I'm not sure how to handle. In the midst of this, I'm juggling the roles of a mother, wife, daughter, and hostess. Honestly, it feels like I'm walking a tightrope, trying to please everyone but myself. The essence of holiday cheer seems to be slipping through my fingers, replaced by a sense of duty and apprehension. How do I keep peace at my family gatherings, be there for my sister, and also find a moment of peace for myself? Well, actually, you have to start from the last thing you said. You have to find a moment of peace for yourself, and then you will be able to show up as your best self for your family, for your in-laws, for your sister. Anyways, I'm in dire need of some strategies to manage these varied pressures without crumbling under the weight. Thank you for lending an ear and for any guidance you might offer. Best, Emily. Emily, first and foremost, you are not alone. Let's hit the road. We don't have too long of a drive, but we have some juicy topics to talk about. Let me also take a look at this. Let's start with the sister situation. Second paragraph. So you honestly don't have to do anything special for it. I understand that it is a very challenging thing that she's coming back home without kids, so I'm assuming she was coming with her ex-husband and the kids before. And the same thing with the in-laws too. I don't know which part of the spectrum you are on the contradictions, on the situation of the world, but it doesn't really matter either. I think the most important thing is this. We as human beings don't have a plan for when the shit hits the fan. Excuse my language. We are happy, we make a plan, we expect and anticipate a good dinner, and we hope for it, but then we don't have a plan when things go bad But we for sure know things are gonna go bad, things are gonna go challenging, things are gonna go, maybe awkward. Less like the softest word I can say is awkward and dramatic. Everything you can add on to this with the family gatherings. I know the stress that people feel, especially here when the big families get together. But let's forget about this situation and learn from pilots, right? Pilots, before the flight, they have a route that they are going to take. In their mid-flight, they are either on autopilot, which most of us are on autopilot, and then they set the destination, okay, New York to LA, and then they just navigate the road. Uneventful flight. But then they have a plan for the times of crises. What do I mean by this? If one of the engines fail, the captain pilot does not sit around and then think to himself or herself, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Engine failed. Or if the flaps don't open, they don't go and then start to think of a solution. These are very common problems during a flight. Maybe not that common, but these are problems that can happen during a flight. And then they have an order of conduct, let's say. I don't have a better word for it. I should have a better word. But when a crisis situation happens, they immediately pull out their list of things to go through. They don't sit and think. Because why? Because when you are in a stressful situation, you don't think as clearly as you would think when you are calm and cool. So when the pilots are calm and cool, they sit down and they make a plan. What do? Okay, if the engine fails, here is the checklist. The word is checklist. You look at this, I have no idea about aviation or the technicality of how to fly a plane. But you sit down and then you check this, check that, check this, check that. You go through the checklist, and at the end of the checklist, you know what to do. There is already a decision made for that dire situation. So why don't you do the same? You know the in-laws are going to be a problem. You know there will be sensitivities with your sister. You know you are already juggling 5-6 balls at hand. So why don't you make a plan? As you are sitting down one day, go ahead and close your eyes and imagine that situation in which one of the in-laws make a smirky comment or your sister makes a sentimental thing, and then as you are sitting down imagining the dinner table awkwardness, what are you going to do? First, you have to notice the change of sensations within you. Immediately your body reacts to it. So it's like, Emily, let's breathe calmly. We know we were going to feel like this. This is you talking to you. This is you guiding you. You have your own checklist. You know the in-laws are going to cause you the problem. You know there's going to be sentimental issues. Am I missing anything? Even if I'm missing anything, this is your story, so you know exactly each and every detail that could go wrong, because it went wrong before. I mean, in aviation, they say every rule is written with blood, because things go wrong, and then people come back, okay, like with our sane mind, what do we do to prevent something like this happening further? So what you are gonna do is this: you're gonna sit down and imagine the situation. I can't close my eyes. You should close your eyes. Imagine the situation. Okay, this smirky comment, that topic coming up, this problem coming up, and then you know how you cringe, you know how you feel in your spine, you know how your breath goes shallow. And then first thing is first, Emily, your peace of mind is the most important thing at this dinner table. So when you start to take care of you, first, what is happening is you are not contributing to the negative cringe of the table. You are already out of it because you knew it was going to happen, and you have a checklist. You adjusted your breath, you maybe navigated around the conversation. You know, most of the time ignoring doesn't help, but maybe you can have some strategies in terms of how to redirect or reframe the conversations. So I think the best and the short advice that I can give is have a checklist. What happens when the mother-in-law says this, or when the father-in-law does that, or when the sister does this? What happens when the conversation of the divorce come up? Like, I don't know how the conversations would go, but you have a pretty solid idea. You can close your eyes and then make up the things that could go wrong, minimum 85-90% accuracy. And then when you are sitting down by yourself in your peaceful mind, make a checklist. This is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to choose to feel, and this is how I'm going to choose to believe. And then what do you have? You have a playbook. Does this help? If it does help everybody else, I also advise you to make your own checklist for the alarms when they go red. Have your own playbook when your brain shuts off with stress and you don't know what to do. So you immediately revert to your handbook, and then you will be your own guide. You will be your own advisor. How is that sound? The sun is setting. It's a beautiful day in Northern Virginia. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holiday to all of you. Again, if you think there are good checklists that you can apply, write them in the comments. If you think this is a great advice for some of your friends to hear, send the video to them, and subscribe, like, give them the thumbs up, all of the good stuff for the algorithms of YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody.